In this Create Cell Bank module, we're going to go over the Rainforest student pitch competition and some methods for doing video recording. Have you ever been asked to give a presentation when your calendar was double booked, requiring you to be 2 places at once? Well, that's my opening, and we'll see about that later on. But, many times presentations will be given live in front of an audience. And sometimes, though, you'll have to construct a recording of your voice, your content, your image, and or some background music so your presentation can be given when you are not present. This module will give you an easy way to use Zoom to construct several forms of recorded video and output the recording in .mp4 format. Some examples of the types of recordings you can make are you speaking and showing a PowerPoint presentation, you speaking, in other words, just your voice, and showing a PowerPoint presentation, your voice showing PowerPoint with music in the background, and there's many, many other variations. You, of course, first have to write your content into PowerPoint format. Now, I just want to digress a bit here in that there are dozens of books on the optimal PowerPoint presentation format. Some claim, they not all consistent. The recommended number of bullet points per page, recommended number of slides, the types of images, etc. So I'm just going to focus on recording here. And because this recording technique utilizes Zoom, I'm going to give a brief primer on Zoom first. So Zoom's a world-class video conferencing platform. And there's its logo up in the upper right corner. Project Echo has used Zoom to grow from 2 to 34 countries and from a handful to over 270 partner organizations worldwide over the last 5 years. Now, Zoom's free for meetings that are shorter than 40 minutes and really ideal for supporting creating videos of your product or service to support your blog, your YouTube channel, your pitch presentation submission. There are other video creation methods you can use. I'm just going to focus on Zoom, and I am going to mention you can use your iPhone or your Android phone or tablet to do it, but for now we're just going to focus on Zoom. If you don't have a paid Zoom account, you can set up a free Zoom account by browsing to zoom.us, zoom.us, and select the blue button with white text that says sign up, it's free. Once you have your account, you can host unlimited meetings, unlimited numbers of 40-minute meetings. Now, once you've got your account, to join or host a meeting, you browse to zoom.us. I'm just going to go over the difference really quick. When you join a meeting, someone else is hosting it and you're joining their meeting. If you are a host, you are setting up the meeting and other people are joining your meeting. So you will need to host to record your video for the Rainforest student pitch competition. So select host a meeting. And for your practice presentations, choose with video off. So you're just seeing the slides, you're just hearing your voice, and if you have the background music that is going to be 90 seconds long, you can hear that as well. For your recorded pitch that you're going to submit, you want to choose with video on so that your face will appear on screen. More on that later. If you have a paid Zoom account, you can open a Zoom meeting by selecting Start Without Video, if you want it without video, or Start with Video, if you want to just do your pitch presentation, or if you want to join someone else's meeting, you select Join, you can, of course, schedule, and you can share your screen right off the bat. I typically set up my meeting and then choose to share, but you can do that. Now, here's what it looks like when I've started my Zoom meeting and I've selected share screen. Now it's going to show you everything. I've clearly got two screens going, so it'll show the left one, it'll show the right one, and it'll show any of the other applications that you have going. You want to select the one that you have. Now, this is crucially important. Those two check boxes down in the lower left corner of the share screen, make sure you click both of them. You want to share computer sound, because if you have a video playing inside your PowerPoint, if you don't have that on, anything that's generated by the computer won't be recorded. It'll still record your voice, but it won't record anything that comes in through, maybe you have a microphone set up, a USB microphone. And the other one that you want to check is right to the right of that, is optimized for full screen video clip. And that'll just make sure that it comes out in the right proportions. Now, in this case, I'm going to show you one of the ones that I did, and I'm going to be clicking on that time travel savings one. But first, let me give you an example. This is a real world example. I was planning on heading to a conference in 2015 to give a talk, yet I was asked to present to Project Echo's Worldwide Meta Echo group at the same time. Well, that's clearly a conflict, but because I was going to be up in a plane, so given the unreliability of flight Wi-Fi, sometimes they'll say it's not working, or you're below 10,000 feet and it's not turned on. So you can't count on that. Then, of course, if you are going, then, pilot voiceovers, please fasten your seatbelts, getting your seat kicked, et cetera. I decided to pre-record my presentation to Meta Echo, and here's how I did it. Of course, I completed my PowerPoint, and here's kind of the view of the PowerPoint. You can see the slides down the left, and this, is kind of the first slide. And, you want to have that so you have text and visuals that support the central theme that you're trying to make. And now, if you want to do this needs to be your PowerPoint, not mine, but I'm giving you an example of what I did in this particular case. So I pressed View and then Reading View and adjusted the screen size so that there were no black bars on either the top or bottom or left and right. And then in the Zoom meeting, I selected Record. I then stepped through my presentation slides as I spoke. And at the end of my presentation, I selected End Meeting, and Zoom produced MP4 video recording. Now, I'm going to step through the resulting MP4 video that I actually remotely played while I was up at 35,000 feet. Those shortcomings to intro the highlights of the report. It's got, for the state of the New Mexico, unique spoke locations, almost 10,000 patient presentations, almost 2.5 million miles were saved, and almost 40,000 hours were saved. Inside a video. When we average that out, it's about 250 miles saved per presentation, and it's about 4 hours saved. And this is a round trip savings. And on the right, you can see some different representations that we did using Google Maps. And, as I show how it renders, you have an origin, you have a destination, you have waypoints in between, and you have legs of a trip. We're downloading this stuff from Google, and we're going to store it in iEcho so that we'll be able to generate and regenerate this report based on different disease states and so forth. Again, Okay, so
that,
you
that
notice
show
that I've
up.
got my,
But the question here
my
is, how
thumbnail
do
up in
we
the
get
upper right corner,
at the
and then
pull this out?
I
Savings,
end up with
and we can
the video
start. So
showing
we
up
got you.
at the very end. So that was circa 2015, and only very rarely do I now make a video recording with my image, but sometimes I have to. And a key tip here is I had very good front lighting in this video. So make sure you don't have strong backlighting, or your image will look like the one on the lower right with less resolution, like you are in the witness protection program. And you don't want to do that. You want to at least let people that are seeing your video see your facial expressions and your content, if you decide to share your screen. And if you don't share your screen, you're just giving your pitch, as you will in the Rainforest Student Pitch Competition. You want to make sure that you have this with good front lighting. Again, we'll go over this in a little bit. So anyways, that went really well. And, people were kind of amazed, using Zoom from 35,000 feet. But, the Wi-Fi happened to be working. So that was a good thing. Now, another thing that you might want to add is a music track. And to do that, you select which slide on which you want the music to start, and you do insert audio from on your PC, and choose your audio file. And then you use audio tools to set the play parameters. Now, here's an example presentation that I did. This is, of course, the first page, as you can see. Now, on the second page, see that little speaker with the sound radiating out to the right? That is where I've inserted the audio file. And this was exactly a 60-second audio file. And note that the title of this was Visualizing the Growth of the Echo Movement in just over a minute. And just over was so I could introduce it and then get started. And I set that to play for its entirety. So it's not just going to play while I'm on this particular slide, even though you can have it do that. So let's listen to it. Visualizing the growth of the echo movement in just over a minute. Okay, so that was exactly 60 seconds of music, and I could have set it up to loop if I had a longer presentation, but I didn't. I just had, a minute to show, and I had one map per slide, and I was just pressing over button or next slide button on my computer as I was speaking. So I controlled the timings. Now, many of you are PowerPoint experts, and you can figure out that you can record your timings inside PowerPoint, and you can record from within PowerPoint. And of course, you can do that. I just used Zoom for that. And again, I want to say that I'm just showing you one method so you can at least understand that. Now, I use Zoom in exactly this manner to record each of the video modules for Create Cell Bank. I don't embed music and I don't turn on my video. Now, several students have said, well, why don't you have music on the background? And why don't you put your video on? I don't know. I might try that later in the semester. But so again, I set up the PowerPoint in View with Reading View, and I shared that Reading View in my Zoom meeting. And after everything's all set up, and by set up meaning I've got the microphone set up and dialed in, I got the right volume, I hit record. I get the MP4 file, I upload it to our Create Cell Bank YouTube channel, which you have all gone to see the recordings, and because I give you the link. And again, there's other ways to accomplish this, but this is free, as long as I don't talk for more than 40 minutes. Now, The Art of the Start and Convince Them in 90 Seconds both have great outlines on convincing folks in 90 seconds, because that's how long you have. There's a common theme in both books. Open with your problem statement in the form of a question. Now, I did this up at the front end so that you won't be surprised when you see it again. Have you ever been asked to give a presentation when you were double booked on your calendar? And, something like that. You come up with your problem and you open. Later on, I introduced myself, but nonetheless, that's what you can do. Now, in 3 semesters, this is the 4th of teaching Create Cell Bank, 6 of my students have made it to the live pitch portion of the Rainforest student pitch competition. Now, one of those 6 did it in both Create Cell Bank 1 with one idea completely. She did another idea for Create Cell Bank 2 and won both times. Now, the pitch competition, you have to submit a 90-second pitch video that has to go to judges, and that's stage 1, and then they will select a certain number. It can be 8, it can be 10, it can be 12 out of the dozens and dozens of pitch submissions that they're going to get. And the ones that they select go to the live pitch stage, where the minimum dollar award is in the $200 range. So always start with presenting a question that highlights the problem you'll be solving and goes over your value proposition or propositions, and avoid saying, hi, my name is whatever. So what if you don't want to use Zoom? I know I've talked about Zoom. There's no problem. There's dozens of ways to record videos. And one of the simplest is just to talk into the camera of your iPhone or Android phone. And as with Zoom, make sure you have a lot of front lighting and have very little backlighting. And one easy way to accomplish this is to have your phone or camera facing away from the sun. Now, you can go one step beyond that to create a professional looking video with you speaking to the camera. One will have a positive, you want it to have a positive impact on the judges. Consider having a dedicated backlight against the wall that you're standing up. A desk lamp works well, and it illuminates the solid background. And it works well whether you're using Zoom or your phone. And notice how the speaker just pops. Now, there's some front lighting. They probably have another desk lamp or light source shining on them. And you can do this. So if your pitch video looks like this, it will stand out from the typical pitch video that gets submitted. So look at this slide carefully and try to replicate it. Now, assignment 7 will be to create a pitch deck for your presentation. In other words, a PowerPoint presentation that has a 90-second MP3 soundtrack inserted on your cover page or on your second page, and for you to record an MP4 video of your 90-second pitch. The soundtrack is there to help you time your 90 seconds. But I also want you to learn how to do that. Now I'm going to put up a couple of 90-second MP3 files on the Slack channel that you can use and practice until you get the presentation done as close to the 90-second point as you can. Now, this assignment's to help you to prepare your pitch video for the Rainforest Student Pitch Competition judges by enabling me and the TA to give you some feedback. And eventually you're going to record this 90-second pitch without the PowerPoint or screen share, just with your webcam's video, recording your 90-second pitch using a Zoom meeting. Now, students have previously reported that they've done 10 to 20 practice pitches until they get it completely memorized, and another 5 to 10 until they recorded their pitch exactly as they wanted for submission. So don't feel you have to get it exactly right on the first time. You can do multiple presentations. So what's the submission criteria for the first round? Well, the very first one is you got to get it in by the pitch deadline or the submission deadline, which is March 19th, 2019 at 11:59 p.m. So you've got to submit an application to pitch at stc.unm.edu/EPC. And I just want to point out that submitting a pitch is a requirement of Create Cell Bank. So you got to do this, but at least you can make it fun. It gives you the opportunity to take your idea that you've gone through with all the criteria, your sweet spot, your business idea, and present it. So here's right off the website. Record a 90-second video of a student or a team of students delivering an elevator pitch for your business or idea. Video should capture students delivering the pitch to the camera. The pitch should be delivered in a single take. Videos should not be edited together or produced with visuals or special effects. This doesn't mean it needs to be filmed on the first take, but there should be no post-production done to the pitch. And for example, don't edit two halves of different takes together. So some tips that they say is avoid reading from scripts or cue cards. Please be sure to record the video in a reasonably quiet environment to make it easier for the judges to hear and understand, and avoid recording outdoors or in loud hallways. A panel of judges will view the video submissions and determine the finalists that will move on to the final round. So here's the form that you got to fill out, and you can, now here's the details of how to submit your pitch video, for the spring 2019 pitch competition, and we'll go through those. So it's got to be in March 19th, 11:59 p.m., and 10 finalists will be selected. So they've selected that number, and here's all the information that you need. You need your full name, your phone number, your email, what university are you a student at, are you a graduate or undergraduate, what college or department are you in, the title of your pitch, and a summary of your business, product, service, or technology you plan to pitch, and enter the link to your 90-second video pitch, whether it's YouTube, Vimeo, or Box. And by submitting, I agree to the terms that are on that page. So click I agree and hit submit. Now, this enter the link to your 90-second video pitch is the biggest problem area that I've seen. And now we're going to dive deeper into YouTube later in the course. But for now, set up a free public YouTube channel and use that channel as the destination to upload your final pitch video. You can obtain the link to your video directly from YouTube and insert that link into the box on the submission form. If you are a pro user of Box or a pro user of Vimeo, feel free to use those as alternatives. And above all, please test your link from another computer to be sure that it works. Because what the judges will do is they're going to take that link and they're just going to click on it and they're going to play your video. So if you have it on private mode or anything like that, you want to make sure that they have the ability to get to it. So what's the judging criteria for the first round? And you'll notice that it pulls a lot from your business model canvas, your presentation skills, how your delivery, voice, eye contact. There's no slides or handout, so it's not applicable. But your content, your product or service, the problem, target market, ideal customer, your competitors, your price, costs, and profit, marketing strategy, investment, and how you're going to use the funds. What's your business deal? What are you offering? And now back to the presentation. Was your overall presentation convincing and persuasive? Did you connect the dots? And did it show creativity? So here's some other tips. Make sure that you have your pitch either memorized or that you can produce it with a couple of cue cards. Do not read it. Let me repeat that. Do not read it. Make sure you don't sway front to back or left to right while speaking to the camera, because nothing is more distracting than having the speaker swaying. Make sure you think of distances as defined and convince them in 90 seconds when choosing how far you should be from the camera. Too close will invade the judge's private space. Too far will be off in the social space and they can be distracted. So try to be in the personal space zone. And above all, put energy and emotion into your pitch video. So finalists, if you're chosen as one of those 10, you'll get to present a 90-second live pitch at an evening reception on March 25th in front of a panel of judges, business leaders, entrepreneurs, investors, and others in the community. The top winner will be determined by audience voting and receive a $1,000 cash prize. Additional winners will be determined by a panel of judges. And all finalists will receive a cash prize, somewhere in the $200 to $250 range. That's what it was last time. So I'm not anticipating that it will change, but it could. So I just want to repeat, the Rainforest Student Pitch Competition deadline to submit your pitch video is March 19th, 2019 at 11:59 p.m. And you got to submit your application at sdc.unm.edu/EPC. And I just want to repeat that it's a requirement of Create Sell Bank. Thank you.